Can someone please save me? I don't care about being a girl boss anymore. I don't care. I don't care about being an independent woman. I don't care. Someone save me. Please? I can cook. I can clean. I can grocery shop. I'm really good at laundry. I fold laundry really good. I can fold a fitted sheet. I can bake. I'm really good at cooking. I already said that, but I'm really good at cooking. Shopping. Just wifey stuff. Like, I don't care. I finished my nursing prereqs. I was gonna go to nursing school. I don't care. I'm over it. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it. Okay? I'm good. Put a ring on me. I'll pop out babies. Not yet, but like, I will. In the future. I'm also good at sex.
No.
You know, I hate to break it to you, sister, but all of those things that you listed, men have been doing on their own since the dawn of time. Men don't need you to cook, to clean, or fold laundry. And though I'm sure your fitted sheet folding skills are second to none, nobody really cares about that. Modern women have insisted that they would rather be slaves to thankless corporations who pay them next to nothing in exchange for complete and utter loyalty, rather than be with the man that they care about and provide them with a peaceful home. You don't get to make those demands and then change your mind once you realize how hard it is to be a grown-up. And assuming that men are just looking for indentured servants who can cook and clean is kind of insulting as well. Men actually want women who are going to care about them, and your vacant face says it all there, sweetheart. That's not something you can provide. You wanted independence, so you got independence. And that doesn't change just because nursing wasn't going to be the fun and easygoing vacation you assumed it was going to be. You got what you wanted, sister, and now you have to deal with it.
You're welcome. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, don't mention it. Use that freedom in any way you like.
I feel like there's an epidemic going on right now where smart, strong, attractive women are just like being observed and watched by all of these like weak, insecure, essentially incel men. And like all the men are incel now. Like, it's not just the incels, it's not just the broke, you know, fucking creepy weirdos. It's literally everyone. Like, men just can't compete because women are out here able to do so much. Like, we've never been more powerful in our entire lives, and we fucking know it. And they can't keep, you know, like, on us anymore, because it's like, here we are in big cities, women are now making more money than men. You know, still overall men are making more, but in New York and LA, women are making more money than men.
And
Okay, so your chief argument as to why you are better than men is because you're making more money in bigger cities, even though you aren't making as much money as these men, which is a completely different argument altogether, is somehow makes you superior. Therefore, the vast majority of men out there are incels, and that really makes no sense. The incel argument at its base is that men are somehow inherently evil because they're not getting any bedroom fun, and because of this, they're somehow frustrated and entitled. Meanwhile, you're saying that you're better than these dudes because you're getting as much bedroom fun as you want, while also bragging that you have money, which is an argument that you invented because men don't really give a hoot about that kind of stuff. It doesn't make you better than anyone else, sister, especially when we see how wasteful you are with that money. I mean, woman, you are single-handedly keeping the throw pillow and decorative towel industry alive with your wasteful spending. So I really don't think that should be the basis of your moral superiority there.
They're living bigger, better lives than men. They're better entrepreneurs. They're making better business decisions. Like, not to compare the sexes, because whatever, like two different skill sets, two different whatevers, but like women's skills are being utilized, and it's fucking crazy. And like, I don't know, man, I'm just like, women are just being watched. They're just being watched from like the sidelines. Like, men fucking don't know what to do. I don't think I've personally met any men that are actually doing what they need to do, that are like stepping into like the true divine masculine goddamn energy.
What?
You know, I gotta hand it to you. At least you tried to make a vague attempt at defining masculine energy, and of course it has to do with money. Nothing about a man's ability to lead, nothing about his strength, stoicism, or anything like that. It all has to do with his money. Meanwhile, you're propping yourself up with incredibly vague platitudes about business decisions, which once again is something that only you and your brood of hive-minded lunatics actually care about. It never occurred to you that men out there aren't really interested in business-minded females because they're typically massive pains in the bunghole that really don't offer anything to a dude outside of stress, overcooked pot roast, and transactional bedroom fun. Why should any man want to put his best foot forward with a modern woman when she's made it clear that his worth only goes as far as his bank account? Meanwhile, your bank account is in the red thanks to your impulsive decision-making skills and your ability to express your emotions with expensive dinners and meaningless knickknacks. But I guess that's just the perfect metaphor for being in your divine feminine or whatever. I mean, seriously, woman, I dare you to make any of that make sense.
I've met men that seem like that, and then it turns out that they are insecure little fucking hoe bags. I've met men who have these really amazing, incredible careers, and then still insecurity is coming for them when they have to step into their divine. Like, I just don't understand. I'm just genuinely confused. Like, yes, I have the incels up in my Instagram stories, like in the Instagram stories every day, but I also have the divine, masculine, confident, fucking whatever men, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Liking the Instagram story. Like, what is going on? Seriously, step the fuck up, because you're not. You're looking like the fucking incels. I don't know.
You have had the frontal lobe of your brain removed and replaced with bubble wrap.
You know what? I got nothing. I really have no idea what you're talking about, sister. You're saying that masculine men, or the types of men that you crave, are incels because they liked Instagram stories, and then saying that these men need to step up their game because you have more money. Now, I ran this gibberish through an interroster, and the damn thing almost broke down trying to decipher what she's saying. And for my best guess is that the dude she wants aren't willing to take her seriously, and instead of reflecting, she calls these masculine men insecure incels as if that's going to somehow hurt their fifis. There's also something about a purple monkey dishwasher in there as well, but at least that's my best guess. Men aren't watching you and taking notes, sister. We're watching you turn your life into a massive train wreck and having a few laughs at your expense. We don't need to resort to tired insults or politically misguided talking points, but that's only because you make it so easy with your ignorance, your arrogance, and inability to create a coherent sentence without botching it up in spectacular fashion.
That's funny because it's so true.
How I started my week with 3 crushes on my crush list, and we're only 4 days in and I've already gone to 0. And they haven't even met me or gone on a date with me. I mean, I've met all of them individually in person. In between the time I put them on my crush list and this weekend, they're all gone. They've outed themselves. They've taken themselves off. Number 1, I had one guy who asked me on a date, and with a 4-hour turnaround, he canceled the date. I didn't do anything in between. Maybe I posted a story. I don't think my story affected it. I think you're off the list. Number 2, I had a date with a guy. We went on another date. He was really nice. We've been texting, but then his grandmother died. So that obviously wasn't great for him. But he went away. I went up to Coachella, partied my face off.
Congratulations!
Hey lady, if a dude cancels a date on you, then he's already preemptively cut you from his list of women that he's interested in seeing. There's no real way for you to retroactively take that away, so you can do it first. Now I understand why you're doing it. You're trying to protect your fragile little ego by saying that he's off the list when that particular list is cared about by you and you alone. He found somebody better to date, and he has no interest in you. Even though I'm fairly certain that if this guy were to text you back 6 months later, his name would be magically added back onto that crush list of yours. Just a hunch. Now, the second guy had some unfortunate things happen to him, and your response was to go to an overpriced concert and spend way too much money and not care that this guy just lost a family member. And this is going to end with you becoming unattracted to him. Now, we all know that you're not recognizing the pattern here. You're far too dense for that. But if you end up being superficial, then you can't be surprised when dudes become uninterested in you. It's kind of a given. I know it's a complex concept for you to grasp, but you should try anyway.
Then he came back. We were supposed to go on a date this week, but then he canceled because he had norovirus. Feel bad for him. We were maybe going to go on a date this weekend, But the last thing I sent to him, he just followed up with me a few hours ago and sent me a voice message saying, "Hi Rachel, hope you're having a great day. I just want to let you know that I really miss my sisters, and so I'm thinking of moving back home. It's been really great like hanging out with you because you're so fun. But yeah, I just want to be transparent, but it's not for sure. I don't know what the that means, but I think it means you want to be off my crush list regardless." He's like, "I started looking for apartments this morning." Perfect. Love that for you. Have a blast. Bon voyage. You're off the list.
This gives you power over me?
Alright, so you finally meet a guy that you like, and he's being open and honest with you. He misses his family and is thinking about moving back home. He's looking at apartments, and your immediate response is to get petty and butthurt because you're not getting what you want out of the deal. Now, listen, I get it. Long-distance relationships are a deal breaker, and that's totally fair. But instead of being a snarky hussy, the least you could have done is send a message of understanding and wish him luck, but you couldn't even bring yourself to do that. You were too busy complaining about it online for sympathy points. So hopefully this dude sees your arrogance and breathes a sigh of relief as he sees how big of a bullet he dodged with you. So it's really no surprise why any of these dudes are ditching you. You're not a prize pig in any sense of the word, and yet you're acting like you're this grand prize that any man would be lucky to win. But most men are seeing this prize and are coming to the conclusion, the rather logical conclusion, that it's not even worth entering the freaking contest.
3, I have a third guy on the crush list. I've met him before, but we've been texting all week, nonstop. He loves texting, clearly. He's been asking me all the questions. He's been getting to know me, very curious, inching, hinting that he wants to hang out without actually saying it. You know when guys are like insinuating you want to hang out, and it's like, okay, just ask me out already. So he's throwing the hints, I'm picking them up, I'm hitting them back to him. It's like a ping pong of hints. Well, yesterday finally he's hinting, and I just said, great, I'll leave the planning to you. He said Saturday, great. I said, I'll leave the planning to you, and he never responded to that. It's been over 24 hours. He stopped watching my stories, so I think he might be off the list as well. It just goes to show that even if you write things down, it doesn't always happen. And yeah, how do you catch a man in 2025? I was trying to have an autopilot summer, but it doesn't seem like that's happening. So, brat summer it is, baby.
I must have missed 60 minutes. What are you saying?
Autopilot summer? What in the hell is that? I mean, I tried looking it up to see if there was any meaning or any trends, but I couldn't find a thing on it. Now, I'm thinking this is something that she's just trying to make into a TikTok trend, so if I had to venture a guess, it seems like you do nothing, you say nothing, and you put in no effort and just assume that men are going to fall over to try to give you dates without you doing anything worthwhile in return. And if that's the case, that's not something you're doing over the summer. That's something you've been doing pretty much your entire life. And it clearly hasn't worked out for you in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know anybody has ever told you this, sister, but if you actually want a dude in your life, then you technically have to give this guy a reason to want you in his. It's a two-way street, but considering that you barely know how to drive and you have zero situational awareness, I think the idea of you getting into a relationship is virtually impossible, if not life-threatening.
I always said women are bad drivers.
Hi, we have to take a moment for some shameless self-promotion.
Just want to take a few moments to say thank you to the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon for their continued support of my work as I get content out to you folks every single day. I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you so much for your generosity. All hail! And if you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment down below for you.
The greatest gaslight in all of mankind, in all of history, is convincing humanity that God is not a woman. How did the patriarchy manage to completely brainwash people from the truth that we are inherently born with, the truth that we are embedded with, that we know inside of our bodies? If we're ever confused, we just need to look at nature. Human beings, the women create life. In lions and the animal kingdom, the women create life. When it comes to nature, look at the trees. It's only the feminine trees that can produce fruit, that can bear the fruit, that can create a new form of life. So if the feminine energy has always been the creator, then how is God a masculine entity? Can someone explain this for me?
You have had the frontal lobe of your brain removed and replaced with bubble wrap.
You know what, lady? It's kind of sad that I, a random schmuck on the internet who got a C- in health class, has to tell you this, but in order for life to grow in a womb, it needs fertilization from a male. It takes two to tango in that regard. You can't have a bun in the oven unless there's a dude making the batter, if you know what I mean. Not like it really matters. Your womb is about as useful as your intellect, which is just my way of saying that if it was useless, then it would be a massive improvement over your current predicament. Now, I've made it clear that I am no theological expert, but if I had to venture a guess as to whether or not the man upstairs is a dude or a dudette, my guess would be it wouldn't really matter. I mean, just take one look at this. This is how the Bible literally describes what angels look like. Can you see any plumbing? I know I sure as hell can't. So what does it matter, lady? It doesn't make a difference if you're right or not.
When we actually use common sense and we look back and we say, hey, how come women's rights were revoked at one point for such a prolonged period of time? How did they even get away with taking our rights away as human beings? It's because the male ego looked at the feminine and realized she is the closest thing to God that has ever existed. And in order for him to access God, he must insert himself into her sacred portal.
Ew.
That is his connection to God, is through the feminine. And women have the sacred portal inside of them, in between their legs. And the patriarchy could not survive without religion, so religion reinforcement had to be there to convince all of humanity that God is a male entity.
We've got a conspiracy here. Conspiracy! There's conspirers conspiring in a conspiracy. Conspiracy!
Lady, if accessing your overused spunk portal of unwashed damnation is the closest a man will ever get to the man upstairs, then how do you explain all of the men and women who dedicated their lives to the church by taking vows of celibacy? Why is it that lust is considered one of the 7 deadly sins if it's a man's access to the dude in the sky? You'd think if that was the case, it would be considered ceremonial practice every freaking Sunday, but it's really not. And that's because what you're describing isn't religion. There are tons of men and women out there who feel a connection to their creator without feeling the need to see you naked. I mean, let's face it, far too many men have had that displeasure already. But it always ends up going back to the bedroom fun because it's the only thing you have to offer a man, even though the most pious of individuals really couldn't care less. Now, if you want to talk about the church's control over humanity, we can talk about that all day. The Vatican itself is a cesspool of hypocrisy and secrets that isn't to be trusted, but I really don't think those guys hiding the fact that the man upstairs is really a chick ranks fairly high on that particular list.
Where in nature do we see a masculine energy creating a life form? It doesn't exist. The nature of the feminine is creation. When we look at the dominant nature of the masculine, what does it look like? What does it feel like? It feels destructive. Because who runs the planet? Men. And what is wreaking havoc on the planet? War, famine, sex trafficking. All of it is ran by men.
That's racist!
Didn't God say that Satan was in control of the world? Who's in control of the world today? Men. And religions try to convince us that God is a male entity? They have gaslit us from the truth for such a long time just to keep the male ego in power. That is the only reason why. It is the greatest joke and the greatest scam in all of humanity.
Hey, lady, you do realize that female leadership is responsible for an ungodly amount of war and death, right? It's almost like human beings can be bastards to each other regardless of what meat they're packing betwixt their legs. But that's not going to stop you from assuming that you know what you're talking about because you found a church which tells you what you want to hear after relentlessly getting run through by Chad, Tyrone, Raphael, Marco, Chang, Wang, Takeda, and Poncho. You heard a few sermons, you cracked open a Brobel halfway, and then immediately decided that you're an expert even though I can prove to you that the crazy diamond in the sky never once said that the dude down below controls the world. Influence? Yeah, sure, but not full-on control. But hey, there I go using basic facts and 30 seconds worth of research to prove a point. I keep forgetting that research isn't your strong suit. Or logic, or being able to keep your legs shut, or pretty much anything that doesn't involve rampant judgment, which by the way is technically frowned upon by the very deity you're trying to politicize against a whole bunch of people. And the last time I checked, that really isn't going to work out as well as you think there, sister.
Oh!
And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.